Hello and welcome to another video in my DIY competitive series, where I show you and your company some of the, I suppose, processes that I have used for 10 plus years of performing competitive intelligence. So you can take it in-house and run competitive analysis on some of your biggest questions as a business. Just a quick intro on myself. My name is Finbarr. I'm based in Rhode Island, and I run Finbarr.co, which is a competitive intelligence as a service business. We focus on helping 7, 8, and 9 figure businesses tackle their biggest competitive and market insights, problems, challenges, either on a once-off or repetitive contract, whichever is best for your business. So we've been working with many great clients the last year or so. I myself have worked in competitive intelligence and market strategy, corporate strategy for Dell, Zillow, and TripAdvisor over my 10 plus years. So I love competitive intelligence, and I'm hoping to help as many businesses as possible with the processes I've generated and things. I firmly believe competitive intelligence should be a part of every business, but I also fully understand why it's not a full-time hire. So that's where I like to come in and help businesses in general answer their biggest problems and give them some insight into what they could be doing better or where they're strong versus their competitors. So today's question is a big one, and I think a lot of businesses probably have thought about this and probably think about this almost daily, but they don't have anything on paper. They don't have any data behind it. And a lot of it is just guesswork. And that is to determine the market share your competitors hold. And by essentially you can do it for yourself too. So let's get into the steps behind that. Apologies, let me go on to step. This, just a slide I skipped just there. These are the best practices that I tell everyone who's doing their first ever competitive intelligence analysis. So screenshot it if you'd like. Again, contact me if you've any questions or need any advice on doing competitive in-house. This is what this process is there for. But basically these 6 rules, if you want to screenshot that, are what I tell every business on every first call before I start or before I help a business do their own competitive. But back to today, and we have a 10-step process. Again, it can be different for each business, but the whole 10 steps are a good high-level thing to follow to answer the question of the market share your competitors hold. And this is, depending on the size of your business, you'll get different reports and stuff that's in, but like for your own sanity, for your own kind of like judgment and confidence, it's always good to do this in-house to understand fully, because you have more data points. You understand your competitors more than many analysts and stuff like that. I know I did at Zillow, and I know that I did at TripAdvisor and Dell, especially at Dell when we were going against HP and a lot of different large companies. This was something we did that went over very well, and we had different figures from all the analysts who did similar analysis. So anyway, not enough me. I want to keep this video short, so and just go through the 10 steps. First one is basically to define the market. Start by clearly defining the scope of your market. This includes geographic boundaries, identifying relevant product or service categories, pinpointing industry segments that matter to your business. You can determine the total size of this market, whether in terms of revenue, units sold, customer base, to establish a solid foundation for your analysis. So define the market and determine with decent calculations the size of the market. You can do that by like number of top competitors and then leave a buffer of other competitors. I have a separate video on that, but I think you can manage with good hypothesis and good estimations a round figure of size of market. Secondly, identify key competitors. I like to rank them personally. You list direct and indirect competitors. You know what a direct competitor of yours is. An indirect, in case you don't know, is basically someone with different products and services than you, but has very similar customers. In fact, the same customers. So you're talking to the same person. So get that list going for yourself. Focus more obviously on direct competitors, but indirect can be tangential and take up some market share too. Step three is basically start collecting your data. So get every bit of data possible. And that's out there that is basically legal to get. Industry reports, financial reports, filings, basically all what you can get on that is publicly available. Please do. And three and five are the same here, and six, I believe, is on the patents as well. But the reason I split them up is because I want you to do some primary research in between this. So start collecting your data, but also start interviewing people, start sending out surveys, start talking to analysts, get your primary research done as well. So collect data, what that's out there, start doing your primary research, start doing your secondary research, which will come a lot from the internet, but like you can start researching their social media, their going to trade shows, going to conferences, reading their press releases. So anything that's falls into secondary research. So three, four, and five here, and what I believe is number six as well. Yeah, well, six more goes into starting to build out your competitor market share. So yeah, so make sure you do three, four, and five, which is the data collection, the different steps, and then you move on to number six, which is if you have revenue information compared to annual this is for public companies, compared to annual revenues of competitors to the total market size, to calculate market share percentages. If revenue data is unavailable, use unit sold or customer base figures as a basis for estimation. So that's key distinction. And then you assess the level of market penetration by for each competitor by considering factors such as customer reach and brand recognition. There are two things that you could consider. So just to go over that once more, if you have revenue information, compare the annual revenues of competitors to the total market size that you've calculated in step one. And then if revenue data is unavailable, use units sold or customer base figures as a basis for estimation. There's a lot of tools out there that can help you do that. Do that, and then which falls into number seven is starting to use those tools. This is where you can kind of market share calculators. There's tons of them out there. Just try to go through a few of them and maybe try a few of them, and the ones that are closest together can kind of like give you, along with your data and your analysis, maybe some confidence in your predictions. Again, it's much easier when it's publicly available. A lot of companies are private. So you that's when the estimation game comes in. So again, I use number seven to kind of round out and kind of put an end to the analysis phase. And number eight then is basically validate all your data. This is obviously going to be scrutinized by every executive in your business. So make sure that you validate and cross-check data and you have an explanation for each data point, because everything will be challenged, especially if it's private data that you're estimating. You need to have a good, true hypothesis of why you estimate it that way. Because you are going to get bite backs in those meetings. And then number 9 is visualizing and presenting it in a nice way, presenting recommendations in number 10, and basically sticking to your word and being confident in your presentations. You're hopefully going to be that after number 8. This is one of those topics that I would personally do a bit of a roadshow. So I would obviously present it to execs first, but a lot of like middle managers in companies want to see this too, and they find it very interesting. So be prepared to present this if you're running a competitive analysis to a lot of different teams. This is a very popular topic and one that a lot of leadership and management in companies want to hear through. Okay, so that is it from me in terms of the process. Again, you can download a more comprehensive checklist, excuse me, from the video description where there's loads of sub steps to the 10 steps I went through with you. And then reach out to me if you need any competitive intelligence through email, and we can set up a little call. Again, I only take, when we take on customers, they're a mutual fit. We can take them on a one-off basis or a regular basis, like a recurring basis. But yeah, would love to chat with you, hear what your problems are. And thank you for listening today, and much appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one.